Okay, today's menu is going to involve a foil pack of salmon. And salmon's really great, but you want to make sure it's wild caught salmon. You can see that beautiful reddish orange color. That deep color is important, and you're only going to really get that from wild caught salmon. You do not want to use farm raised salmon, and the reason why is that color comes from a carotenoid that's called astaxanthin, which passes the blood-brain barrier. One of the very few things that do, and it's great for Alzheimer's patients. If you're an arthritic like I am, it's great for your arthritis. It's an antioxidant, and we want to get our antioxidants from the foods that we eat, not in a pill. It's important that when you are eating antioxidant-rich foods like this, that you prepare them correctly. So we don't want to completely destroy all the antioxidants in the food. So for this foil pack, it's going to create a nice sealed barrier that's going to keep all the moisture in, and you don't want to overcook it. If you prefer something that's well done, well, you may not get as much benefit from it. This has a lot of vitamin A. It's going to have all sorts of minerals. So wild caught salmon is truly the kind of salmon that you want. You don't want any farm raised. That orange color in farm raised is because they add a food dye to it to get it that color. Now the way I put the pack together is I start out with a bunch of lemon and lime rings. I just simply throw them down on the bottom as such. Now that I have my lemon and lime rings down, I'm going to put in, and I've got some rough chopped garlic and onion, a couple of cloves, and just a couple of rings of onion. Again, just slightly rough chopped. I'm going to put them on top of the lemon and lime, and then on top of that, an aromatic. Now I happen to have some fresh rosemary out in my yard, so I'm just going to use that. If you want, you can use thyme, any other aromatic that you prefer to rosemary. You could use multiple aromatics. You could use dill. Dill's good in this as well. The reason why I want to layer it up like this is the wet ingredients you want on the bottom, because what's going to happen is through those wet ingredients, you're going to actually steam. Let me put a piece of lime back here. You're actually going to steam through the garlic, through the onions, through the rosemary, and into the salmon. Throw the salmon on top. So remember, wild caught salmon is important. So now that I have that there, go ahead and rinse off. I've got the grill going right now. The grill's going to be nice and hot, probably 500-600 degrees. There we go. So I'm going to salt, pepper, and then I'm going to seal off this foil pack. And the way you do that is you just bring up the two ends together in the middle and roll it over. Now the foil, you want to make sure it's about at least 2 to 3 inches longer than the piece of fish that you're using on each side. And the other thing you want to make sure is you're using a heavy duty foil, because regular foil is kind of thin and flimsy. It'll tear, and chances are you'll lose all the fluids into the grill if you are not extremely careful. So there is my lovely little foil pack. And I want to give it just a little bit, I don't want to be crammed, jammed tight in there, just a little bit of room so the moisture can circulate in the foil pack. You don't want it necessarily to be cut off, so you want that whole foil pack to heat up. Be back in a minute. Okay, took it off the grill. We unwrap it. You can see I put it on a nice heavy cutting board. Pull it off, otherwise you'll burn your hands. Be very careful. All right, so the big unravel and reveal. You can see a nicely cooked salmon. What I look for is, this is basically room temperature. I start seeing a little bit of these little sweats that come out. That means the meat on the inside is getting cooked, but because they're still there, they have not cooked off, means the salmon is nicely done. So this is about a medium rare. If you, maybe closer to medium. So if you want something a little bit more well done, cook it for a little bit longer, 10-12 minutes. So again, this was on there for about 9 minutes, and for finishing this, I'm just going to throw some capers on top because they go really good on this. You can throw a little bit butter on there if you like, but for me this is absolutely perfect, just like this.